Let's get into it. Just want to go over my pre-market game plan going into tomorrow, and then I would do a session recap of today. So hope everyone's having a good week, a good month. So far, banger of a week, banger of a week. 4 for 4 on the week. Caught a beautiful trade today on the downside on Netflix, which we'll get into. Those contracts went like over 30%, so super solid day, super solid week, right? Just letting our trades come to us. Now let's get into it. Starting with the SPY. If you watched, my live trading session yesterday, I broke this down a little bit more thoroughly. This is exactly what you want to see. If you actually watched a live trading session from today, I actually hit on this. So, a lot of people, right, they're probably thinking the end is near, the market's bearish, yada, yada, yada. We know how it goes. So this market is very bullish, very bullish. And I broke this down a little bit more thoroughly, and I said, remember, right, we broke this key level here, 673 on the SPY. So what did we get yesterday? A retest. Break, retest, continuation. This thing pushed back, almost back to the top of the range. So beautiful here on SPY, right? That's solid. Just these are dip buys. So tomorrow, you'll be looking for a break and retest over 678. It's really that simple, right? So this is really just a break and retest off of 673. Beautiful there. Kind of we're still pretty much in a channel, in a range. You can see there's some resistance sitting right here on the SPY. But on a technical standpoint, as you know, if we're above the previous day high and the previous day low, technically price did not move higher or lower. Doesn't matter what happens on the intraday. It was an inside bar day at the end of the day. I've been noticing, right? We on the SPY, we sweep the previous day highs liquidity, and then we pretty much just reject. So, we're taking out these orders, and then, we reject to the downside. So, but like I said, you can kind of see here, just really not much going on the SPY. But today was a solid day, right? We didn't have a heavy sell-off day, but pretty much just kind of break even still here on the SPY. But you're just looking for pullback longs, right? So off of 673 or off of 678.45 here on the SPY. If we fall under 673, like I said, I'm hands off because just like the Qs, like anything in here, it's just sideways action. It's just sideways action. We're not really moving higher or lower. All this is just a channel on the daily. So I love to see that, hey, this 673 did hold. Does that lead us back to the upside? We won't know until we know. But so far, market structure on SPY looks very solid. Qs. So, I set this as well on the Qs. Give me one sec. As long as Qs is under 612.80, pretty much hands off here. And the reason for that being is, you can see on the dot, this key level is being respected very well, but anything under 612, it's just a channel. It's just sideways action. So you would love to see Qs really get back over 612.80 and get back to the upside. That'd be a beautiful little trend here, little dip buy, targeting the upside. So like I said, does this look like a market that's bearish? Absolutely not. Right? We are not bearish bias until we break structure under 576.45. We've got some ways to go, but just like I said on SPY and the Qs, really just not much going on. It's really not much going on. To me, these are all healthy pullbacks. These are just pullbacks. You're looking to buy the dip, see where strong buyers step up to push this thing higher. So, I mentioned this yesterday. Look at that. We just went straight upside for like almost 2, 3 weeks. And now we got, a couple of days where we're pulling back. It goes hand in hand, right? We can rip to the upside for 5 days, 10 days, 7 days. We can have pullbacks as well, right? Nothing just goes straight up. You got to understand market structure. So pullbacks are healthy. Pullbacks, right? Why we want to look for pullback long entries is because we're looking to buy the dip where buyers step in and say, hey, this is a good price. This is a good level to push this thing higher. So Qs is definitely still intact to the upside. We haven't even broken structure on the daily. You can see, right? We haven't even broken structure on the daily. So you're just looking for pullback longs here. But me personally, I would not touch this until we get back over 612.80. Why? Because I want to see this channel. I'll give you a better little drawing. I want to see this channel turn into support, which would be over 612.80 targeting the upside. That looks really solid there. Tesla. So beautiful analysis here on Tesla. I mentioned this in the live trading session yesterday. Coming into today, I was actually looking for a pullback long off of 466.50, and that happened beautifully during the pre-market. We just didn't get it. We just didn't get it. So, look at our key level here. Just being respected on the dot. That is beautiful. That is textbook. So we ended up pulling all the way back, right? We get the sell-off. We get all the way back. Buyers end up stepping up and pushing this thing back to the top of the range. As I always preach, you want to be in a trade at the bottom of the range before we get back to the top of the range. So that's textbook here on Tesla. This thing is solid. Finally, right? What I do love about 488 and 466 is Tesla's just ripping, right? Tesla's just going straight up, straight down, straight up, straight up. Like Tesla's just ripping through here, and that's exactly what I love to see here. So going into tomorrow, right? I'm just looking for a break and retest over 488.50. I love that. I love this key level. Why? Because right, it's a correlation with the previous day high. So I love the confluence there. Obviously, we're bullish bias on this name, or a pullback long at the bottom of the range off 466.50. These are two solid shots that I will be looking for here on Tesla. I was looking at that today, but today, Tesla opened up dead smack in the middle of the range. You can see buyers did, step up and push this thing back to the top of the range. But I love to see like, hey, there's some selling pressure up here. There's some selling pressure up here. So I love that. I want to see that because why? I can expect a big breakout when it happens, and I'll be ready for that, waiting for this pullback long entry. So we won't know until we know. But obviously, right now, looking to short this name, just looking for a break and retest over 488.50 or a pullback long off of 466.50. That's pretty much been the game plan all week on Tesla, and it's been playing out, right? We got paid yesterday, taking that shot here. ended up playing out. The market was too heavy yesterday, so that pretty much led to this pullback here on Tesla. But buyers said, nope, not today. They stepped in at 466 and they pushed this thing higher. So super solid here on Tesla. Nvidia, another name, just like the SPY and the Qs that maybe everyone thinks like, all right, this name is bearish. Nvidia is like, it's forcing our patience here, but I love it. This thing's setting up. It really is setting up. We are not bearish bias on this name until we fall under 168.75. That's it, right? I mean, we can see where it's sitting right now. It's really in no man's land. For me, I took my shot. What was that, on Tuesday or Monday? It was a winning trade, but I know what I'm looking for. I'm trying to get in at the bottom of the range because that's the best RR trade. That's the highest probability shot before we get back to the top of the range. And, I keep breaking down. NVIDIA doesn't have a problem getting back up to 184.50. All you got to do is look left, see these key levels being respected, and it pushes it back up. The problem NVIDIA has, as I've said over and over, is getting above 184.50 and actually holding above that. But we are very bullish bias on this name. Where there is pain, there is gain. So for me, I'm looking to my left. History likes to repeat itself. Every time NVIDIA pulls back to our 168.75, buyers load up and push this thing higher. You can see the last time, right, we pulled back to 168.75, we pushed all the way back up almost to 190. So I know what I'm looking for here on NVIDIA. So going into tomorrow, I'm either looking for a pullback long off of 168.75 or a break and retest over 176.75. This is really solid here, right? I'm not bearish bias on this name until we break under 168.75. The market is still intact here on NVIDIA. Let's go here on the intraday. And right, not a lot going on, but the buyers are definitely in control today. Definitely in control on NVIDIA, which is exactly what you want to see. You can see, right, started off with an inside bar day. What do? We ended up pushing up to the top of the range. We swept that previous day high, as you can see. And then, right, seller stepped in, but pretty much the inside bar day. NVIDIA really didn't do anything, clearly, right? But respecting our key levels, we took a shot over this earlier in the week for a winning trade. I'm looking for that as well. So the reason I love this trade going into tomorrow, why? Is because we'll also be over the previous day high. That's a good confluence for me. Obviously, right, as we know, if price gets above or below the previous day high or the previous day low, it's more likely to continue higher or lower. So I love this. This is a great setup if it occurs. If not, I'm just waiting for a pullback long at the bottom of the range. Or guess what? NVIDIA can just do this tomorrow and do absolutely nothing. We won't know until we know. But what I do know is I'm not bearish bias on this name and I'm not looking to short this name. So you may see, right, the sell off, yesterday. That's just because the overall market was heavy. Crazy recovery, right? Crazy recovery. Came all the way back up to the previous day high. Got above the previous day high. But solid day here on NVIDIA. Really solid day. Wasn't a bearish day, but still solid day. So I'm just looking for this tomorrow. Looking for that over 176.75. And if it doesn't set up, I'm just hands off. Very simple there. And then Apple. So I was looking at Apple today. If you watched my live trading session, you saw that was actually on my close watch list. This name is intact, right? It's just pulling back. And there's no coincidence that every time Apple has a big pullback, buyers step up aggressively. I mean, look at this candle. This is a daily candle. This is a daily hammer stick candle. Wicks to the damage. Body tells the story. For me, I wish we pulled back a little bit deeper here. That's all I wish. I wish we pulled back a little bit deeper. And that's exactly, what happened. Look at that. Buyers are in control. So yeah, this candle closed red, but you can clearly see, the buyers are in control here on Apple. And I'm waiting. This thing is setting up, right? We see this happen all the time. It's stair stepping higher. It does this little consolidation period, but this is a healthy pullback, right? Look at these candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're on a crazy 7-day streak to the upside on the daily. So all this is just healthy pullbacks. We are not bearish bias on this name until we break under 247.30. The top 2 tech names that we are bullish bias on, and that has the best looking to the upside, is now Tesla and then it's Apple. So just looking for pullback longs here. On Apple, I mean, you can see there's a clear, strong support level, 265.30. So there's no coincidence that we pulled down here and buyers said, hey, let's go. Why? Because the last time we were down here, which you can see here, that led us to an all-time high. So that's beautiful here on Apple. I'll go here on the intraday. Just look how aggressively buyers stepped up. Crazy V-shaped recovery. Crazy. We pretty much went all the way down to 266.95, and this thing pushed all the way back up to, what is this? Give me one sec. 273.20. So crazy recovery here on Apple. Why? Because the buyers are still in control. So I would just be looking for this tomorrow or a break and retest over this. That'll look really solid. If Apple can stay strong, during the pre-market, I love this over 275.90 because we'll also be above the previous day high. That's super solid. But just looking for pullback long entries here on Apple, right? A pullback long off of 271.40 or a break and retest over 275.90. Looks really solid there. AMD. So finally, as long as AMD stays under 203, I am bearish bias on this name. I explained this right to the Discord, like, hey, we're just going to let our trade come to us. I've been explaining the past couple of weeks. It's just going to be these 2. Anything in here is all noise. There's nothing going on in there. We're neutral in there. We're not bullish bias or bearish bias. But under 203, I am now bearish bias. So the same thing that I was looking for yesterday and that I was looking for today, I'm looking for tomorrow, right? A pop and fade off of 203. That is a beautiful shot here on AMD. You can see, right, we are moving lower. That is clean market structure. That's a weekly level. We are bearish bias under that level, and we have a $30 gap fill to the downside. That is beautiful. So that's exactly what I'm going to be looking for here on AMD. We did a good job today avoiding it to the upside. I said, hey, if AMD wants to pull back and hold this 203, we're just hands off. I'm not looking to long this name anyway. We're just hands off. So that ended up happening. you watch that live trading session, you'll see that, and you can see, buyers did really try and defend this. Buyers did try and defend, this 203. But right, we did our job finding a key level. That's beautiful, right? Support, we break, turns into resistance. It's really that simple. So coming into tomorrow, I'm just looking for a pop and fade off of 203. If we get above 203, obviously I'm hands off because that's just a channel. And I'm not looking along this name until we get over 225. So solid here on AMD. Netflix, what a dot. Beautiful trade today. I really recommend going to watch that live trading session. I know I always say that, but God honest truth, out of everything that I post, even the educational videos and the pre-market plans, the live trading sessions is what you're really going to get like the most education from, because that's just raw, real time, unfiltered, like just real time data, right? Everything is easy to say in hindsight and break down a game plan and all that stuff, but in real time, you're hearing my thought process. Why am I holding my trade? Why am I scaling the way that I am? My entries, my exits, skipping a trade, being a risk manager, all those things, all those things. So today was amazing, amazing. We all caught this trade over 30% on this Netflix trade, which was beautiful, and it was right off the pre-market plan, right? We were actually, I'll zoom out here. Does this look like a name that's bullish? We're trending to the downside on the weekly time frame. We're trending to the downside on the daily time frame. The trend is your friend. So it was really, very simple. Coming into today on Netflix, right off the pre-market plan, which was just a pop and fade off of 95.50. We caught that beautiful trade to the downside, right? We were very patient. Same thing, yesterday it may look to the upside like, oh man, this thing, buyers are in control. Not at all. What was that? A pop and fade. Look at that. We're trending to the downside. Very beautiful there. So coming into tomorrow on Netflix, I'm either going to be looking for another pop and fade off this 95.50 or a break and retest under this 93.65. I love the confluence here because it's also the previous day low. So I love that, right? If we break under that, price is likely to continue lower. But Netflix has been doing very well. Respecting the key levels, it requires patience. We took this trade today. We sat in there for like 15 to 20 minutes. It was a beautiful trade. Play your trade, trade your plan. And that's pretty much it, right? That's a pre-market game plan. Oh, Google, sorry. So Google looks really good. Google looks good. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. So what I love about Google is obviously we are bullish bias on this name. So this is a great shot. I'm looking for that tomorrow over 304.75. That looks beautiful, man. Getting in at the bottom of the range, there's nothing in its way to the upside. That looks great, right? If it wants to reject, this 304.75, then I'm just looking for that until we break structure on this name. We are bullish bias. So Google looks really, really good. This is all healthy pullback. We consolidated at the top of the range for a bit after making an all-time high. That's normal. That's 100% normal. So I'm just looking for a pullback long here on Google or a break and retest over 304.75. Another reason why I really like this trade is look at the previous day high. That is textbook. That's screaming confluence to me. That's screaming take this trade if it sets up. So not only are we getting back over a daily level, it's also the previous day high. So that's a great enough confluence for me to take this trade. High probability shot. We see a nice little bull flag setting up here on the daily. I mean, this looks good. So I'm looking for this on Google. Obviously, we're bullish bias on this name. Other than that, right, just be patient. Right, we've been doing very, very well being patient, reading the market. Not a lot going on SPY, and we can clearly see that, right? We spent like almost 3 weeks just stuck in between 685, 678. We had a heavy pullback yesterday. Pretty much nothing going on today, but look at the crazy recovery. Look at the crazy recovery, right? Sell off yesterday, crazy recovery today. So Qs, right? Qs looks good. Qs looks good because actually I'll go here on the 15 minute. Sure, why not? The reason I like Qs is because this would pretty much be a breaker structure back to the upside. I mean, you can see kind of had a crazy pullback. These are all healthy pullbacks. Crazy recovery, right? But if we get back over this, that's a breaker structure and we're back to the upside. So, hey, did it need to pull back to 602 to find support so we can get this continuation higher? We won't know until we know. So this looks really, really good. Our key level here, 612.80 got respected on the dot. On the dot. Remember, anything under 612.80, that's all a channel. So I would love to see a break and retest over 612.80. Why? Because what do I teach you? You want to see this channel turn into support. So that's what I'll be looking for here on Qs tomorrow, if that sets up or if I decide to take that trade. But hope you guys are having a good week, a good month. We got about not even a full 2 weeks left to close out the month. Yeah, because we got Christmas Eve and Christmas. But yeah, hope you guys are doing good. Appreciate the love, support, and I will see you guys on the next one.